Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to episode 2 of my new series, A New Start.
So since episode 1, I went ahead and did all of the training things to get a bunch of new cards in packs. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to open those packs here, and we're also going to play in our very first event. So fortunately, the Rising Tensions event is running with Chord of Calling right now. So if we can get to max progression here, we can pick up what I feel is one of the best cards in Standard. So that's pretty cool. Now, we got a few new things to add to Nissa, but we also are going to want to go ahead and start picking up our other starter planeswalkers. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's pick up Chandra, Gideon, and no, we're not crafting yet. We're going to pick up Chandra, we're going to pick up Gideon, we're going to pick up Liliana, and we have just enough to pick up Jace also. He's terrible though, like truly terrible. It's just there's nothing new coming out that's blue, so I'll go ahead and take him just so I can finish the story. So I've learned a few things since I started up. So the first thing that I learned that is important for you newer players is that Chapter 1, Origins, is like all of this. Like, you have to beat all 16 chapters to be able to do events. So I did not expect that, but that's the first thing I learned. Second thing, there are a lot of good cards that you get from doing all of these training things. So definitely make sure to do that, right? That's huge. Third thing, you get some packs. It's pretty nifty, but we're going to open these at the end. Ooh, no, let's do this one now, right? Maybe we get something nifty that we can use. Maybe. Well, I mean, it's green, so Nissa can use it, and I suppose we have all the walkers now. So, I mean, we could use that. But let's go in here, and let's see which of these will be the easiest to do. So we are just able to do this. Had to make sure that I could. Cast 4 creatures with toughness 3 or less. Not bad. Cast 3 creatures with power 3 or less. Not too bad. That's going to be impossible. And win in 10 rounds? No way, that's happening. Okay, this might be the way to go. So let's go ahead and make an event deck with Chandra. Let's see what we have. No? Oh, I did not want that. Alright, shoot. What do we have that's decent, if anything? Well, I mean, Orbs of Warding is cool. I pulled that one, and Ravaging Blaze was from the first pack. This is not bad, honestly. Deal 3 damage to any target, you gain 3 life, and I can use it. You're going to have Pro White. You're going to count toward our objective, so let's go ahead and use you. And now, creatures. Let's see, we need 3 power or less. So let's take some things that will be kind of decent. This is Riot, so it'll be able to boost itself. You have haste, so but you're terrible. Man, these cards are rough. Okay, starting from scratch, way tougher than I thought it would be, by the way. Like, not like a little bit, like way tougher. All right, Lightning Javelin, target creature or opponent. Cool, let's do this. Let us play our first match of our first event. We're up against a level 9. That's delightful. Haven't lost a match yet, which is pretty cool, but also haven't played against another player yet. So, I mean, you know, that's a nice start. Getting these integrities here is not what I wanted, but we're going to flip these just in case we get the extra mana. And let's just get all the manas we can. We're going to give you +1/+1. That'll probably do more damage over time. And, there is a red match. I have, like, no Planeswalker abilities, so that's pointless. But I don't want to give him good matches, and I want as much mana as possible. So let's do that and keep it rolling. All right, you're a 4/2. You don't help me with my objective. but that's okay. You help me win. And so winning is definitely better than losing. Orbs of Warding is going to go a long way to messing Gideon up, because in bronze, like, there aren't that many things that do enough damage to kill you if you've got that thing out. So that's actually pretty nice. It was actually a kind of decent pull. Like, I'm actually pretty glad about that one. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take this one. It's going to be a stretch to get those 3 creatures, I think. I know that there's like a ton of creatures in my deck, so need to get 16 mana in not too many turns. Alright, what's the best way to get 16 mana in? Oh, not too many turns. Well, okay, this is a double match, so that's definitely something, right? And then we need to get a double creature down. This is good. This is really good. This is terrible. No, that thing is garbage. That wasn't what I meant by this is good, by the way. That thing is terrible. Do you do anything? Anything. Great. Okay. So, if we get like some crazy miracle here, which we don't, which is fine, but next turn, if we can just get that Vyashno dude down, I think that's what they're called, right? Vyashino. Okay, cool. Well, we need one more creature, right? Yeah. Nice. Okay, so we'll have completed that. We're going to pop this dude. We're still at full life. That's good. And we win. Nice. Okay, so we need what? 60 points, right? Ribbons. So that just means that ooh, legacy booster. Well, now that will be exciting to open. Oh, that was the other thing I learned, right? Make sure that you level up, right? Leveling up is amazing for a new player. So level up as you can. Definitely do that. All right, we got a guilds pack. And yeah, we need 60. So in between matches, because this is standard, so we'll actually be able to use this card, we're going to go ahead and open. You'll see that my other packs, they are not standard. So they're not going to help with this event. But this could. Same odds? Same odds. You want to give us our first mythic, please? Maybe Razia? Ooh, that is a sweet card. That is less sweet. But still, okay. We got a really darn good card. Ooh, we got 2 really good cards. Very nice. Okay. I like that. Let's get back to our event. Boop, 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 boop. Let's get us that Chord of Calling. And let's go super speed.
So from here, the Chandra games kind of just went without a hitch. Like, playing Chandra in this was really, really easy. I mean, you really don't run into particularly strong cards, and so I never really felt the need to level her up, or I didn't feel like, ooh, I really need more packs to be able to compete in this. So the more that I'm playing and doing all this stuff with the new account, the more that I feel like you can definitely get by just saving all of your crystals for planeswalkers. And then because of how many packs you get from stuff like leveling up and from events and all that kind of good stuff, you can just get all of your new cards from playing the different daily events and stuff. And then you get your planeswalkers with the crystals. And then once you have your solid core of 5 planeswalkers, then start getting the cards again so that you can build up your collection. Because probably by the time you get Teferi and Bolas and Kiora or Garruk or, those types of walkers, you're going to be ready to just get packs because you're able to compete in all of the events and you'll do just fine with them. Now, at this point, I ran into a nice little surprise right here. So I start the match and...
Nope.
Yeah. No. It was at this moment that I realized that it was time to swap away from Chandra. And I'll say that I've been really surprised with matchmaking with my new account because my first time in the training grounds where I did both standard and legacy, I was using all level 1 planeswalkers, and the lowest level planeswalker I ran into was level 22. So with level 1s, I got matched up against a level 22, 28, and then 43, 44, 47, 50 something, 57, and like some other things up in that nature. So what I wound up doing is I took my level 1 Jace and I put it in the training grounds, and then I hit start match quit against all of the level 50s. I did wind up actually trying out my level 1 Chandra against a level 44 Chandra, and I won the match, and I got a great kick out of that. My level 1 Chandra deck is actually pretty strong for a level 1 Chandra deck. But that aside, I am definitely hopeful that moving forward, that maybe we can see some changes in matchmaking for newer players, because if all of my training grounds experiences are like my first one, then I'm likely to skip the training grounds on this account for a little while. At least I can until I can get my planeswalkers up. And I've got to imagine that in bronze there probably are other level 1 planeswalkers that you can run into. So I finished building Nissa up for the event, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to get into a match. I'm ideally not going to go up against another level 40 planeswalker or something. And fortunately, I don't. I don't have to run into any of that nonsense. But I do wind up running into a vastly superior planeswalker. And I actually wound up matching up against it in back-to-back games. So you'll see here, I plug in Nissa, and I go up against Superior Nissa. So Superior Nissa was actually pretty terrifying because at level 10, I want to say that Sage Animist has +1 to green, whereas you'll see here that Worldwaker has +3 to green and +2 to white. So immediately in the outset, I saw that I had the Orbs of Warding, and that was huge. So having Orbs of Warding here, you'll see that like I actually am taking my time with all of my matches and stuff. And that's just because I really wanted to make sure that I played this match as best as possible. So I wanted to make it as likely as possible that I would beat this Nissa. And then that right there honestly scared me quite a bit. So I saw Sword of the Animist go down, and I was just thinking to myself, how am I going to win this? Like, this Nissa has way better abilities, better mana gains, and definitely better cards, because at this point here, I've really just got commons, a few uncommons. I've got that Orbs of Warding as a rare, but there really just isn't that much to my name. Oh, and of course, that Nissa also starts with way more health than I do. So this is looking like a really scary match for me, just because the opposing planeswalker is just a naturally better walker. So you're going to see here that I'm prioritizing getting my own Orbs of Warding down here, as those really just sort of counteract level 1 Nissa's ability. And then, of course, she gets that crazy landfall, which is kind of terrifying in and of its own. But her ability at level 1 is just going to make one of those haste tokens. So with her just making one of those haste tokens, that means that she needs to use her first ability 3 times in order to be able to get through Orbs of Warding. So there, I'm just trying to figure out, is it worth getting rid of an Orbs of Warding? Am I actually going to be able to play anything from my hand? What's the best play to make there? And ultimately, I decided that since I'd be able to play that little elf dork there, that I might as well just try and keep it down. And so now with the sword down, right, those little forests are kind of scary. They're actually going to be doing more than my orbs can block. And not only are they going to be able to do more than my orbs can block, but they're going to be destroying gems. So they might even wind up destroying my orbs. And so at this point in the game, I honestly thought there's really a very little chance that I win this match. Now I'm actually going to speed up this section of the match, because as this was a pretty tough match, I really had to think a lot about a lot of the different moves that I was making. And so I took a lot more time looking at the gem layout and all that stuff. And as a result, my turns start to slow down too, because I'm taking more time to decide, all right, what are my matches going to be? Is there any way that I can win? And then this turn happens. So Nissa, opposing Nissa, right, winds up getting that other dude down to make it a 4/10, plays, I want to say, status twice. And so that little elemental now becomes an 8/14, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get my board wiped but then it actually winds up destroying its Sword of the Animist. So I got really lucky there. I mean, lucky, but even though I'm taking a ton of damage. And now my opponent has 8 power down. I've got the orbs, so that means that I'm really only taking 4 damage, but still, my turns are definitely limited with how much damage it's going to be dealing. Now, I did get super lucky there. I just got a crazy landfall, and on top of getting the crazy landfall, I've still got that 5 match of white in the corner. And so here you're actually going to see that I'm going to put Wild Instincts up because with Berserker going, the elf or the dog or whatever it is that I want to put it on is not only going to get trample, but it's also going to get an additional +1/+1 until end of turn because of the dog's ability. So that means that I'll be able to take out those forest tokens for free. And so now I'm in the driver's seat. Now I know that my being in the driver's seat here is a little bit luck because of those cascades and the Sword of Animist destroying itself, but I'm also going to go ahead and say that I actually wound up playing that section of the match really well. And now finally, I'm in the lead because I've got a 7-6, I've got a 5-1, I've got a 4-4, and all my opponent has down is that 4-10. But that 4-10 is only hitting me for 2. So as that thing is only hitting me for 2, it needs, what, like 14 turns to be able to kill me? And I'm definitely going to be able to beat Nissa in less than 14 turns. And on top of that, you'll see that I actually just drew another one of my worms. So I'm actually going to go ahead and be able to play that worm. So you'll see that I'm actually looking for a really long time at the gems. I know I am, but I just wanted to try and make it like perfect. And you'll also see that my opponent doesn't have an Orbs of Warding down right now. So my opponent not having Orbs of Warding down means that I've now got opposing Nissa here like totally on the ropes, right? If I can just get one more point of damage, then I beat her, right? Because I've got 16 down, she's got 17 health, which means that at this stage, unless that Nissa has like the Great Aurora or something, there is pretty much nothing she's going to be able to do to beat me, right? So there is the match. Now this was the first match that honestly scared my pants off. I was like, oh man, there's like nothing I can do to win this. Like, what are you supposed to do when you're using an Origins Walker and you're going up against a non-Origins Walker, right? Like any of the new ones, because the new ones just have such vastly superior stats. But I mean, the simple answer is just get good, right? So that was the first scary match. And so at that point, I'm like, all right, whew, I'm hopefully not going to be facing another one of those, right? Like I don't mind a challenge, but I really wanted that Chord of Calling because that's like a really darn good card. Now here I'm up against level 18 Nissa, and silly me at the time was really nervous about that. I was like, oh my gosh, there's an 8 level disparity. Spoiler, like all of my level disparities are way different than that now. So in some subsequent episodes, you'll be seeing something crazy. But on the thought of crazy, I got the most Greg-like match possible there with, I mean, apart from Orbs of Warding, like the most garbage hand. Now I'm skipping most of that match just because it was largely uneventful. And then, of course, I run up against Nissa Worldwaker again. Now I was actually super proud of how I played this match, but I'm still putting it in fast motion because this match took a long time. So I wound up getting down my Orbs of Warding, but only after opposing Nissa got down her Orbs of Warding pretty early on. And she also wound up getting some pretty crazy cascade turns to play out her hand. And so this was another one. I mean, I thought I was going to lose the first time I played World Waker, but this one I was pretty certain I was going to lose this match because like she was getting the mana, she had the stronger cards, like everything seemed to be going her way. Now, as a result of both of us pretty much going a stall tactic, this is the turn where like everything was like, oh no. But as a result of both of us running generally stall for this, we had like the longest match ever. I mean, I think it was actually almost exactly 10 minutes. And so at least, to me that was long because most of my matches on my main account are like 2, 3 minutes, something like that. Now, I know I don't have access to power cards, and that's fine. Actually, that's something that I absolutely love about this. Like it's been surprisingly fun. And I should say that we've got like 12 or 13 in the a new start group right now. So if it's something that you're interested in, we still have room for like 7 more people right now or something like that. But there've been a lot of really fun moments. We're chatting in Discord. We're sharing our commiserations and struggles because the struggles are real, guys. Like bronze matchmaking. I mean, I don't have any level 1 planeswalkers. I should probably test this on my main account next time I get a planeswalker. But that matchmaking at level 1, I know it's got to be like my third time saying this, but like, oof. Like for new players, seriously, oof. Now, at this point in the match, Nissa and I had a pretty good grasp of the other one, right? So she was obviously superior dirtbag Nissa, and I was obviously inferior boss Nissa that wasn't Slee's dirtbag. So, no, she's really not a dirtbag. It's just like playing against planeswalkers. Like it's almost like every fight. Like the best way to put it is that it's almost like every fight is like you're going up against like one of the final Elder Spark bosses in this mode, which is definitely fun like 90% of the time for what I'm doing. But it also means that we get like these really, really slow, stale matches. Now, the cool thing about Orbs of Warding is that it's a guaranteed card. I didn't know that when I pulled it, but one of my coalition mates was telling me that it's actually like a guaranteed pull in the pack when you complete Chapter 1. So that Chapter 1 pack that you get at the end of like the story mode is guaranteed to have Orbs of Warding, which would explain why it feels like everyone has Orbs of Warding, because literally everyone has Orbs of Warding, because you can't get out of story and do events without having Orbs of Warding. So if you start all over again, be wary. Everyone's going to have it. And it is scary. At this point in the match, I smelled blood because I was in the lead. I had a baller hand, although Nissa had like a pretty full hand and something was coming down. I knew that I was in the big boy chair. And then all of this stuff started happening. But I was like, all right, it's okay. I've got another worm. So even though I'm going to be losing this worm maybe soon, I will be able to play another one. And I still have the health advantage now. I definitely have the creature advantage with me having that 9/8 Viashino. And there goes the worm. But Nissa's going to have a really hard time overcoming this board position. Like there just isn't removal in green at this stage. Or I mean there is, but it's not likely that Nissa is going to have Death Sprout or Assassin's Trophy or any of those types of things. So that was the end of that match. Really, really fun match. It was actually a lot closer than it looked and was definitely way more terrifying. Now this brings us to the fun part of these videos, which are my pack openings. Now, the audio is mostly corrupted, dead. For some reason, my other phone just doesn't want to record audio. But 3 of my pack openings, I actually have the original audio. So I'm going to let that play here for those 3 packs, and then I'll play music over the end.
We has the precious. What will the precious get us? Precious.
So, I just earned my first Eldraine booster pack from Challenge of the Courts. So, that means that I've moved on to this node here to create 4 or more food tokens, but I don't have anything that makes food, I don't think. So, as I don't have anything that makes food, and I did the story, it's just the food card you get is a black card. So I'm really hoping that this Eldraine pack has something with food. But first, we have another free booster. Let's check it out. Let's see if we get anything, and then we'll open the Eldraine pack too. So that's actually a really good card right there for a new player. So I will definitely take that. All right. And let's see if we can get something with food. So gingerbread cabin would be super sweet. Nope, we're not going to get any. But, wow. I mean, that's super lucky. Sweet. Okay, well, we've got some other things that make food, but first Eldraine pack, and not only do we get a mythic, but we get one that's pretty strong. So, especially for a new player, like this one's pretty nasty, so I'm really excited about this. I just need to get something that can convert gems to black. I don't have anything that does that yet. So, this makes food, but it's blue. And I can't use blue. All right. Well, cool. I am definitely thrilled about that one. You get an Origins booster. I'm really loving this whole leveling system. Like, look, I just started and I have 18,000 runes. So that's pretty great. Chances pretty low, but let's see what we get. By chances pretty low, I mean like that we'll get something pretty good. I mean, this isn't terrible, right? Well, it is for like, wow. All right, so I've pulled 2 black mythics and now this. And yeah, Soul Hoarder just hoarded my battery. Goodbye, battery. But all right, I feel like the game is telling me to play Nissa. Like, really hardcore.
So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the clips. I've got a few minutes of pack openings still rolling in case you want to see some of the other things I got and you like watching my pack openings. You'll see here that I'm just failing to hit claim over and over again. It's I feel like one of those mice in an experiment that's just tapping the button over and over again trying to get my fix, but the game is like, nah. And then finally I get my fix, so I get to open the pack. But of course it doesn't show the images of like half of the cards. That being said, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and roll footage here along with some music. Once again, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one.